Okay, so I just wanted to go over real quick some of the features of this AR-15 style rifle here. With the 1994 assault weapons ban, you couldn't have more than 2 features of a military style rifle, which would be a telescoping stock, the pistol grip with a detachable magazine, or front grip, or things such as like a flash hider.
Bayonet lug, rug.
Yeah, bayonet lug as well. This one currently meets California compliance, which is obviously one of the strictest. But under the new legislation, this one would have to be registered to be grandfathered in to the new law, because this has pretty much, even though it does have a fixed magazine, it does have the bullet button, which is currently evil.
Right. Clearly.
This has pretty much every feature you can have, except it doesn't have a flash hider. It has a muzzle compensator, or a compensator or muzzle brake, whatever you want to call it.
So to jump in here, to go over what you're saying is that a person who owns this AR, they could have a you have to have a pistol grip for an AR, right? So you'd have to have that on there. So that would be your one military characteristic that you could have, right?
Well, there are. California kind of had a workaround.
Okay.
They have a couple of different grips that don't constitute a pistol grip. There's something that's called the Monster Man grip, which is, it looks like it accompanies a fixed stock. It's just the grip itself is bent back a little bit more, and it's physically part of the stock.
However, does that have a thumb hole on it? Because
There's no thumb hole on that.
Thumb holes are also mentioned in the bill, and it's very, very vague. The Kel-Tec KSG here, which we've done a review on before, is a prime example of a very gray area. They talk about rifles, pistols, and shotguns that are semi-automatic not having detachable magazines, having round capacities and things of that nature.
Limiting at 10 rounds.
Correct. But with this holds 14 plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's pump action though. So,
which makes it even California compliant as of this date.
As of this date, yes, it's California compliant. So with this weapon system here, currently we're good to go with it. With the proposed bill, we don't know. It's a very gray area because it does have more than a 10-round magazine capacity, but it's not an external magazine, it's an internal.
Or
detachable, exactly.
And there's
so
two separate magazines.
Correct. So they don't talk about a single magazine versus a dual magazine, an internal versus an external versus a detachable. I mean, there's a lot that has not really been thought out in this bill, or at least not released. The information that's out there on it right now is extraordinarily vague. They don't list specific names of weapons that are affected. Mm-hmm. There's really not a lot.
Which there's 120, so that's a lot. Which we need to know what they are.
Yeah. That's a lot of guns, but I think it's intentionally not released. I think that it's just meant to be very vague and kind of capture the I keep using the word frenzy, but it's really the best word for it is the frenzy that's going on right now, and capitalize on that. And for you guys that are outside of California, you may be subject to these ridiculous California standards that we have, or even worse.
And even more, yeah. Well, and the thing like you were saying about the Kel-Tec KSG. If the bill goes through, Senator Feinstein's bill goes through, I don't feel super comfortable taking this to my local range anymore.
Right.
Because what if a range officer comes by, or there's a sheriff there, or a police officer, or whatever, and they go, "Hey, you're in violation of the new gun law that just went through." That's 10 years in jail minimum, right, for a felony, correct, related to firearms. I don't want to go to jail for 10 years because I took this to the range and I'm being completely law-abiding and I'm just target shooting with this as a sport. That to me is ridiculous because the law needs to be specific. Number one, the specifics are, it's just amazing how is like that, if you have to cap off the magazines at say under 10 rounds, that's 9 rounds of 12 gauge shotgun. That's still a very powerful weapon.
Right. And
again, it's a relatively quick weapon to reload too. So again, it goes back to the whole how much damage can you do with a weapon sort of thing, which is horrible to talk about, but it's realistic in the fact that if you're going to nitpick certain things like that, does it make the weapon or the person using it any less dangerous? Does it make the person's heart any less dangerous, or their mental state? Does it make them any less of a threat? It really doesn't.
Well, and that's exactly the thing. I mean, it's the person behind the tool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, pencils don't misspell words, cars don't drive drunk, and spoons don't make people fat. It's the user of each of those that chooses to use them in an incorrect fashion. You know, same thing with firearms. I've never seen one of my guns jump up off a table or climb out of my safe and go, you know, commit a crime by itself.
Well, that's why you bought a safe, right? So they wouldn't?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I keep
Exactly,
mine
yeah.
locked up for that exact purpose.
Right, because it's a jail cell
Yeah.
for these firearms that clearly would go out and kill somebody with...
Inanimate objects have a history of jumping
Hurting
out,
people, yeah.
hurting people.
Clearly.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, all kidding aside, though, it's definitely the person that makes the decision, and not the inanimate object that, you know, like these ones in front of us. You know, and with all the ambiguity with this new law that's being proposed, you know, we all would strongly urge everyone to contact your district representative as well as your senator, or you know, both your state
Be proactive.
senators. And we can all go online into websites such as whoismyrepresentative.com and look up, you know, you can find both your senators and your district representative, and I would urge you to contact them and have them, you know, make sure they know exactly every single thing there is to know about this law before they, you know, make a decision on it, because it is an extremely important decision.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a good point, because a lot of people will say, well, the president's behind this, so, you know, it's the president's fault or whatever. But the whole thing is that, yeah, the president has a lot of control, but you also have to... I have too many friends that vote at the highest rank, you know, whether it's, you know, the some House and the president and stuff like that, but they don't care about their local representatives. Well, that's the person that's representing you and your laws. That's the thing that bothers me, is that if you're not active locally and you're not writing your congressmen, your state representatives, and telling them that a bill like this will do nothing for crime, as proven in places like Australia, England, China, all
Mexico.
it will do...
You know, guns are illegal in Mexico?
Yeah, they are. That's the point.
Are they having a crime problem down there? I don't know.
Little one last time I heard.
Okay.
Yeah, little one.
I didn't hear it on the news, but
Yeah, probably not. But
Yeah.
yeah. But you know what, another thing too. Sorry to interrupt here, but the president was just on TV recently stating that he's going to fully 100% support any legislation that's out there to reduce gun violence, and I think we can all agree. So I don't want to speak for you guys, but I think everybody can agree that we're all for legislation that can reduce gun violence.
Right.
This legislation that's being proposed, though, in my humble opinion, isn't going to reduce gun violence. It's only going to be taking specific firearms out of law-abiding citizens' hands. The criminals, they're going to keep the firearms they have, and they're still going to be able to obtain the firearms that they want to get
Illegally.
on the black market. Yes,
Right.
not through the proper channels.
A couple things really quick too. If you look at the history of violent crimes that are committed in the U.S. with weapons, you'll see in almost every single case that you see, the weapon was not obtained legally by that user. It was obtained illegally, it was stolen from a family member, it was obtained some other way to where they were not following through the law, which we already have a good, solid law set in place. I get tired of hearing people talk about the gun show loophole. You still have to, when anyone at a gun show in the country, not just California, when they're selling a weapon to somebody, they still have to do a background check on them. They still do that, even though they can, in California you have a 10-day waiting period. Which honestly, that stinks. But I also understand the whole cooling down period if someone is passionate about something. It's there for a reason, and I'm not necessarily against that. I understand it because I still get my weapon at the end of it. That's the whole thing. But something like the gun show loophole, there is no gun show loophole. So people need to understand that. There's certain things like that the media likes to represent as, people can just walk into a store and get a gun without any kind of identification, without any kind of fingerprinting, stuff like that. No, that's not true. That's illegal. If they do that on the side, whether it's at a gun show, whether it's a private exchange or private transfer, private party transfer, PPT, if I want to go meet a buddy somewhere behind a 7-Eleven and go, hey, I want to buy that Glock off you for $300 because I'm going to do something really horrific, and he goes, sure, here you go, here's $300, okay, cool, thanks a lot, have a good day. You can do that anywhere at any time. It's not the law-abiding citizens usually that have those problems to where we need more laws set in place. It's the criminals, and it's the people that need to be heavily prosecuted, which is also another point. Under the president's administration, I forgot the percentage, I don't have it right off the top of my head, but the percentage of prosecutions for gun-related violence has gone down, which means that when people commit a felony with a firearm, they're not being prosecuted nearly as strictly as they were under the previous presidential cycle. So what's interesting about that is you have a president and overall, we have a very, I think, majority, not necessarily majority, but we have a big percentage of Americans right now that are anti-gun because they see the horrible things that can be done with them. But the thing that they don't see is that someone like the president will be all for gun bans and strict laws on law-abiding citizens who enjoy firearms, but he will also not prosecute criminals to the fullest extent of the law who use firearms in a criminal act. That to me makes no sense.
Absolutely.
I don't understand that.
Absolutely not.
Sorry to kind of, I guess, change gears here too, back to another, just more ambiguity of this, well, I don't say ambiguity, but just the ridiculousness of this new legislation, because it's in addition to the 94 Clinton assault weapons ban, is, you're not supposed to have be able to attach a grenade launcher, like a 40mm grenade launcher onto the bottom of your AR-15. Okay, I understand. That's fine.
You can't buy those at Walmart anymore?
No, you can't. But
they were out last time I was there.
Yeah.
But the verbiage has been changed this time around to where you can't add a rocket launcher to the bottom.
That's very, for my friends that are in the military and special operations, that's one of the most popular weapon systems is an M4.
Is duct taping an M4 to a rocket-propelled grenade launcher?
Exactly.
Oh.
Pick up and I mean they make Picatinny rail attachments for them for those RPGs where you just clip them on the bottom of your standard AR. So I bet they might have those at Walmart though.
That's a good point.
Buy them while you can get them.
At least that shows how much Feinstein and her people that are working with her have really researched the firearms industry and know what's available to the public. That's the good thing. That helps me sleep better at night.
I was actually going to write her and say, could you please, enhance that verbiage to say you can't attach like a Moonraker laser or something like that. One of those, future weapons that we're not going to even.
I wonder if
there are no Death Stars that can be added to firearms.
Okay. So if I were to go out, I cannot get a $200 tax stamp for an AOW to be able to duct tape an M1 Abrams tank to the bottom of my Glock 21, is what you're saying. I couldn't do that?
Correct. That's correct.
That's un-American. That's un-American.
Currently, you may.
Oh, I can right now.
After the
but after the ban I can't. Okay. So, like this weapon right here, I can't have this, correct? Under the new legislation, I can't have a
you can't
vertical foregrip.
Yes, if you're not grandfathered in, yes, you cannot.
Can I have a detachable magazine?
You cannot have a detachable magazine that has more than 10 rounds.
Okay.
Or any of these other features.
Or a pistol grip or a telescoping stock, correct? So basically, could I cut the gun in half and throw one half at somebody?
You can do that. That would be completely compliant because you're allowed to have, I believe it was firearms that are permanently disabled. Cutting in half would do such.
So if I cut it in half to where it's unusable, I have a paperweight, but that is okay with Feinstein though. That's okay if it's just basically unusable. Okay, cool.
I mean, you may want to contact her directly and just to
I should probably call. I should probably give her a little ring and dingle. Yeah. And say this AK right here, or this AK platform that we have. So for something like this is a civilian style AK. This is fires a 7.62 by 3.9, but it's semi-auto, therefore not being considered an assault weapon. Correct?
Correct.
Because it does not have a selector switch on it that goes from safe to fully automatic to semi-automatic. It just goes straight from safe to semi-auto. So what would be banned on this, or could I still have this after the ban goes through as a civilian? As
a civilian, you may not have, well, actually, let's see here.
So you've got
this would have the.
This is the California version, so it's got the fixed magazine.
Right.
But it would also be a bullet button specific.
This would be like the bullet button because it requires a tool.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. So that's
this
one
gun would
two.
No longer
this would be
illegal
gun
in any state.
If you were not grandfathered in, yes.
If I was okay, so if this was not grandfathered in,
if you wanted to purchase that, or if you had configured it that way after this bill were to pass, hopefully it doesn't, but.
If it were to pass, say bye-bye.
Yes. Then yes.
Well, and we're talking about grandfathering these in. Let's talk about the transfer. So, if I have kids and I own a handful of these, can I then transfer them to my kids?
Dianne Feinstein's 2013 assault weapons ban This is from the NRA ILA website. It can also be found on a couple other websites that we found, so it's not just the NRA stating this, it's several sites that are proposing her exact bill. Says it prohibits the transfer of assault weapons. What this means is, and I quote, owners of other firearms, including those covered by the NFA, are permitted to sell them or pass them to heirs. However, under Feinstein's new bill, assault weapons would remain with their current owners until their deaths, at which point they would be then forfeited to the government. Okay? Let me read that last part again. Under Feinstein's new bill, assault weapons would remain with their current owners until they die, at which point then the weapons would then be forfeited to the government. If I owned one of these weapons and I passed away today, this weapon would not go to my son or either of my sons. This weapon would have to be legally handed in to the federal government and saying, here you go, there's that person's weapon. Basically saying it's their weapon from that point on. That basically is seizure of property.
Appears that way. There's
Yeah.
no monetary compensation
No.
for,
At least it doesn't say
action
that.
you've amassed. No.
The bill says, or the law says, that if that person dies who owns these weapons, not only can you not transfer it or sell it to another individual while you're in possession of it and while you're breathing, when you die, it has to go bye-bye. It has to go to the federal government, which then they will probably just burn it or break it down into a million pieces or whatever they want to do with it. But that to me is no different than someone breaking into my house and stealing a weapon from me, or a piece, or a TV, or a computer, or a coffee maker, which I love my coffee maker.
Personal property.
Yeah, it's personal property. It's someone coming in and stealing something from your home that they have no right to. And that to me is something that a lot of people have not stated in the bill, which is, to me, just, that's beyond comprehension. I mean, that's robbery basically at that point. If the president and not just the president, but the current administration, our representatives, are serious about job creation in the economy, I think the idea of having an armed officer at every school would create something like, I mean, how many thousands of jobs would that be if they're at every single, preschool through, whatever, kindergarten through high school, that they have a cop there to be a mentor, to be a teacher to those kids, even if he's plain clothes, has a concealed weapon, doesn't have to be full uniformed with a weapon showing, just someone there to be able to help the kids, make sure they're safe, and
make the parents feel better too.
Yeah, I feel way safer as a parent dropping my kid off at school if I knew there was a cop there.
Another thought is, I know with a lot of the high schools, there's military recruiting. At the high school I went to, there was Marine Corps and Army recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
So why not have one of those guys armed?
Yep.
I mean, they're already there. They've sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic. What better person to be on site protecting our children?
Yeah.
I think that's a fantastic.
At least the
idea.
Marine Corps, they're capable of handling a firearm safely. So
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. The Army is too. I was just
Former Marine.
just a little jab. But,
No.
But yeah, again though, if you do decide to hopefully contact your representative, do it knowing that they are there to represent you as we the people.
We're their boss.
Yes. So they represent us. So do that knowing that that's the case. They are only there because we all put them there.
So it's very important that you do contact your local representative and ensure that they understand your stance on this. If we don't shoot this bill down, if we don't get off the couch and actually go do something about this, there's a very real chance that this could go through. And if it does, none of these weapons on the table you're going to be seeing in the near future. Either through confiscation, turn-in, or the grandfather effect, where you get to keep it for your lifetime, but then your kids can't enjoy this. So it's very, very important that you do tactfully contact your representative and let them know where you stand on this. And there's a very real risk that, if you don't, this may be the new setup that you get to take to the range. Now this will meet all the requirements, correct? Pistol grip, internal magazine.
Less than, or 10
Only
rounds.
10 rounds.
10 rounds, yeah.
It's got a
forward.
compensator, not a flash hider.
Right,
Correct.
that's just
So-
compensator.
So we're in good shape. So this may be the new weapon system that you get to take to the range or take hunting. Good luck with that. We've actually fitted this one with an EOTech 512, which is part of a giveaway that we're doing. So if you subscribe to us on YouTube, if you follow us on Twitter, check out our LinkedIn profile, or like us on Facebook, you enter for a chance to win this bad boy. We're going to be giving it away at the end of February 2013. And if you'd like 4 chances to win, then follow us on all 4 channels. If you only subscribe to 2, then you can have 2 chances to win. So anyway, tell your friends, get out there, like us, and hopefully you can take this thing home.
Yeah, so I think that about wraps us up for today here on the Bullet Points. Thanks so much for checking out the video. Again, this will be the first of many roundtable discussions that we do. We really appreciate you guys watching and just having the subscribers out there who are already tuning into our channel and watching our videos. We really appreciate you guys. We'll be doing a lot of cool SHOT Show videos coming up too. We'll be in Vegas next month in January at SHOT Show. We will be definitely your main source for doing videos as quickly as we can while we're on the premises of SHOT Show. We're going to try to edit our videos. We're going to go to booths like, whatever it is, whoever it is, Remington, Caltech, Ruger, wherever we are, just going, Bushwhacker. We're going to go to all the big places, and in real time, we're going to edit the footage as quickly as possible and put it up on our channel. So if you're looking to see what new cool guns or gear coming out from these certain manufacturers in SHOT Show, but you yourself can't make it, tune into our channel. We'll have as many reviews up there as possible, as quickly as possible while it's going on. So thanks again for tuning in. Follow us on Twitter, like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, check out our LinkedIn profile, and we also have a website that is being developed right now called thebulletpointsite.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.